Welcome back to Back Alley Bonsai. Today I'm going to be working on my Aleppo Pine. This is actually one of my favorite trees. It's not the best tree, but I like it a ton. You can hear the neighborhood dogs. Herschel is pretty mad. Somebody's barking about something. So hopefully that's not too distracting. I'm just going to be doing some fall pruning on this. I've let it grow out. It's looking really good. Very robust, lots of growing. I haven't really done anything over the course of the summer other than a couple of quick clip backs on it, and it's got some nice growth. So let's get started. That's kind of the old front of the tree right there, and I'll just give you a little bit of a spin. Just take a look at it from all sides here. You can see where it's been growing up against the wall. It's nice and flat there. That's not great. That's something I'll need to correct. Maybe I can do that with a little bit of wire. We'll see. And there we go. Back to the front again. And I want to take kind of a look at it and see what I think about it from here. You know, it's got some inverse taper down there at the base, which is a bit of a bummer. But hopefully as it grows, it will even out a bit. It's got a long way to go. And the idea for this particular tree is to get kind of a heavy top on it, almost like an umbrella type top on it, and then some contributory branches coming in from down low, which is a natural way that these particular trees grow in the wild. So I'm going to start off looking at this branch down here, which is really bushy. It's got a lot going on, way more than I need. So I'm just going to remove a couple of old stubs. This branch is growing backwards. I'm just going to take that off entirely. I don't need that, definitely. Some of these long needles, just clip them, get them out of the way. We've got a couple of different branches growing out of right there. Got 1, 2, 3 different branches. This is the strongest one, so I'm going to take it off and leave these two. Actually, I'm going to take off this stronger one as well. Just leave this weaker one back here. And then this branch has got kind of the same thing. I've got this one long straight branch growing out, and then there's a few buds in the back. So I'm actually just going to cut it back. And I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it all the way back just to that branch right there, and just regrow the whole thing and hopefully get some better movement out of it. So I'm not sure I really want to keep this branch anyway. It's in kind of an awkward spot. The next one here, similar thing. I got lots of branching growing in alternate directions. It's all actually looking pretty good. It's just a little longer than I'd like, but it's also growing at a bit of an awkward angle. Like a bit more if it grew that way. And this one's growing straight up. So I'm going to take the straight up one off. I don't think I need it. And then take this one off. I think I'm going to wire this maybe that way. Moving over to this one. Again, very clustered, a lot of congested growth here. So I'm going to take off the strongest leading bit right there. Some of these long needles out. Another bud forming under here. That's okay, I'm gonna leave it alone for now. Moving over to this one. So this is obviously growing in the wrong direction. It's folded all the way backwards on itself. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that all the way back. Take it off to there. Let this grow out and see what it does. Although it's also growing at a very weird angle. To go back to the front. And I just get rid of this. How does it look? I don't know, I think I kind of like it. Just to fill in the space visually. Again, maybe I can wire it into a slightly better position like that. And have these two branches coming forward. Okay. So next I'm going to look at this one. So this has got a really strong branch just kind of going straight up here, which is kind of what I want, but not exactly. So I'm going to cut it back to some of the supporting branches below it, right there. There's a little branch there. This is basically clean some of this up. I want to try and encourage some back budding actually on this branch. It's got a lot going on with it. I do want it to do the rising, which it's currently doing, but it's really doing it very awkwardly. There's just too much going on in here, so I'm going to clean this up a bit. Yeah, that was pretty ugly there. I'm just going to take that off. Cut this back to some of these buds. I got a couple of buds growing out right here. So I'm going to cut this back to one and just keep one of them. Yeah, I'm going to take this whole strong tip off. Now we're just down to these two branches, one of which looks weird. Yeah, I'm going to take that off actually. Just to get this down to a simple alternating pattern on it. Okay. Now for this one. Yeah, we got this branch that's going just straight up. I'm going to take that off. I don't really want it to go straight up like that. Yeah, I'm going to take off this really strong one as well right there. And then I've got two different branches coming out right there. So I'm going to take off the stronger of the two there. And moving over to this one, right here, same basic thing, a lot of congestion. But a lot of this congestion is coming from back budding, which is actually what I wanted. So I guess there is such thing as too much of a good thing. This bit here is growing straight up, I'll take that off. A little bit growing out of just too soon after the split. Next branch here is okay, it's just dense. A lot of old needles. Those will drop off soon, just not right now. This is actually all looking pretty good, if dense. This is growing at a weird 90-degree angle. I'm going to take that off. No, actually, I think this is growing out too soon. So that opens that up a bit there. And that's actually just all one branch with some older, mature needles. That's where these big long needles come from. Okay. And now the next one is going to be this branch right here. So let's start off looking at the base. So the first branch that I've got is this one, which is growing very strongly. Probably more strongly than I need it to for where it is. So I'm going to cut it back to right here. And then this one is growing kind of back inwards on itself, so I'm going to take that off. Just keep this one branch right here. The next branch up, so this one right here. Get some of these older needles out of the way. And it comes off right here. And immediately after it comes off, there are two buds right there. So I don't need those. But again, this branch has got kind of the same problem where it is growing really, really strongly, very close to the base of the branch. So I'm going to cut it all the way back to that little one right there. Let's see what it does. And then as far as all of the rest of this growth goes, I'm actually just going to take it all off, just leaving this branch right here. And there's an active bud right here, it's just about to go. So I'm going to take that off to right there. Next up is this branch. It's got a very strong growing side shoot right there. I like that. It's got a weaker one over right here, and it's a good spot for it. And they kind of alternate, which is nice. You go to the left and then the right, and then the left and then the right. Although this is kind of on the inside, so I think, I don't know. So I'm going to take off this thick bit there, just open that up. How many branches are in here? Let's get our real mature needles. Now there are 2 branches growing right here in this spot. I would say 3 actually. This one's growing straight up, so I'll take that off. That leaves me with these 2. So I'm going to take off the stronger of the 2 and keep the weaker of the 2. And now again, I got a big strong tip on it with a lot of growth on it, but I've also got a bud right here. So I'm going to take it off to there. Keep this bud and let this grow out. Alright, and the next branch is actually my last one, my apex branch. It's not really my apex. My apex is actually here, but this is the bit that's growing the strongest. So maybe I should just make that into my apex. See how this looks from the front real quick and see what happens if I just... No, I think I do want to try and grow something to the right. Like I want to try and grow this bit here outwards. So I think I'm going to keep that. We got all this really awkward growth where all this has been growing backwards. Really straining for the light. I need to rotate this tree a little bit at some point. But there's just so much growth in here. So I'm just going to go through and look for the really strongest branches and take a lot of them off. So I'm going to start with these right here. And I'm just going to take these back to these two branches right here, and then there's a little split there. There's a little dead stub I can take off. This has got tons of stuff growing out of it. Take that out. This is growing kind of backwards. Take that off. This is a little bit of a stub there. I'll take that out. This branch right here looks pretty good, but again, getting a little long, so I'm just going to take that back to there. Oh, actually, got a nice other branch growing right under there. I can just take that over and get the proportion a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. And then this bit right here, I've got branches off there. There's another little bit right there. There's a bit right there. It's all pretty quick. Short after the split. So I think I'm going to take both of those off. And then take all of this, I'm going to cut it back to right there. With a little branch coming off there and there. And this one will take off to there. Another one that's just growing in a little armpit right there. Take some of these ends off. Hopefully by clearing up some of these little stubs, it'll allow the branch to straighten itself back out again without too much extra effort on my part. Okay, so I just got myself a little bit of scrap wire. Used it a couple times before. Don't like to waste anything. I'm just gonna wrap it around these branches right here. And none of this is particularly fancy wiring. I'm just building a little bit on here. Mostly just to get these two pointed a little bit more forwardly. Just a touch more movement. All right, let's see this thing from the front. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And we'll make some more adjustments for it in the future. The big thing that I really want, though, is to make sure that this one's ultimately growing upwards. But I think it'll do that more or less on its own. I think I may need one more piece of wire on that. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. So I'll give you a quick spin, everybody. Real garbage wiring, but you know, it's only for me in my yard. Thank you everyone for joining me on Back Alley Bonsai. If you like this content, please like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And as always, have yourselves a wonderful day.